Good morning and welcome to Wednesday Wake Up. We're delighted this morning to have with us a guest speaker, Craig West, COO of BHHS Indiana Realty, and he's going to be covering some of the basics and how you can create leads from your own website. So, Craig, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So we'll continue our Indians Cubs discussion tomorrow after we see actually whether it's the pitching or the bats that actually wins the series tonight. So lots of fun though. Okay, well, good Wednesday morning to everybody, and I'm excited to be here with you. And this morning, I want to talk to you a little bit about the power that you have actually in your toolbox. And that is in your website. Hang on just a second. I'm having a little bit of issues with my. There we go. With my PowerPoint. Okay, so I want to talk to you a little bit about search and win with your Berkshire Hathaway Indiana website and your agent website as well. But I want to talk specifically how you can utilize your website, your CRM system together to not only manage your leads, but also generate leads for yourself as well. You know, I don't know how many of you have really spent much time on our redesigned website, but I would invite you to do so after we go through a few things here this morning. As you can see, I took a screenshot here yesterday, and right in the middle of the home page of the main site talks about search by region. Shows active listing count of 44,281 listings. Folks, you have at your fingertips not only the company site, but your own agent site, a statewide MLS. Okay? So if you think about this, if you're in Indianapolis and you're part of MIBOR or the BLC, or if you're in Bloomington or Evansville or Lafayette and part of the Indiana Regional MLS, your website gives you an effective resource to put into your clients and your leads' hands to go out and search the entire state and search not only active listings, but pendings and off-market data, the sold data. And this is coming right from the BLC or the MLS multiple times a day. So, you know, I would pose a question to you. What if in the next hour I can show you a resource that you all have available to you today, a process that you can take all of your leads no matter where they come from. So if you've got Zillow leads, you've got Realtor.com leads, what if I can show you a way to bring them into your website and they start to interact with you and you start to become the trusted resource for all the research that they do for either buying or selling property? Would that be valuable to you? You all have that capability right now, and that's one of the reasons why we did what we did with Red and moved everything into the one resource center dashboard for you to interact with. So all the leads coming from the national site, all the leads coming from the mobile websites, both national and ours. And if you bring in your leads from whatever source, Realtor.com, Zillow, you can bring them in and interact with them right through your website. Okay, so we're going to go through that in great length today. Again, it's not just the 17 offices that comprise Realty Group companies. It is much more than that. So if you have someone that wants to look into the lake regions up in northern Indiana, you've got the capability of being able to allow your leads to do that within your website, okay? This is a screenshot of the map search capability that you all have. What I did was I narrowed down to just the northern third of the state, and as you can see there, they can get on and actually search anywhere across the state. Okay. And the neat thing about it is, as they search, and I'll show this to you. If you get them, if you're successful in getting them into your website, they can look at anything that's on the market at that time, and they can scroll through multiple listings without leaving your website. They can also go in deep into the site, look at school reports, get the walk score, Interact drive time. All those things are available to you. So when Zillow says we don't care if the information that we put on our website is up to date, we just want to wow the consumer. Folks, you can not only wow the consumer with the capabilities in your website, but you can give them the most recent up-to-date information on real estate, both active and solds within your site as well. Okay, so we'll be going through some of that too. On the left there, I've got a screenshot of my homepage of my agent website. And I don't know how many of you know, but you all have the capabilities of customizing your website with links, with graphics, with logos, to a certain extent with logos, to whatever your heart desires. Okay, we have a great resource that's available to all of you in a webmaster, and his name is Michael Albrecht. Michael can sit with you, he can meet with you over the phone, and he can customize your website to whatever it is that you would like to have on your home screen. Become a resource for whatever geographic area that you want to serve, or whatever niche that you want to create as well. So the information, if you're easy one for me, because we'll be going through an example of what I did, is a neat little neighborhood, growing neighborhood now on the southeast side of downtown Indianapolis called Fountain Square. If you want to become one of the go-to agents for Fountain Square, then I would suggest you have some great links on your website that goes to life amenity type of actions in Fountain Square, or whatever neighborhood, whatever area that you're wanting to cater to. Okay, and we'll go through that in just a moment as well. On the right-hand side, I show a screenshot of actually a consumer login screen into your website and all the resources that are there. And we're going to go through that as well. But what I want to take some time with you today is show you how you can set up a consumer account for your lead or your client and actually send them new listings through your website into their account and have them interact with you. A lot of agents use the MLS or use the BLC. I think the BLC is a data doorway. Is that what it's called? Consumer site. If you set up a safe search for them in the MLS or BLC, guys, you can do the same thing in your website. And as soon as something new comes on today, a new listing, it will email your client a notification, and it will send them back into your website to see the information on the property. Okay? The listing details in your website is the same thing that's in the BLC or MLS. All that data gets uploaded into your site, again, multiple times a day. So it's real-time information that comes out. And again, it's a very easy dashboard for your consumer to get in. They can save properties. They can save searches. They can set up searches on their own. And it's really an intuitive and interactive way for your clients to control the process. And that's what we know today. That's what the technology has done. It's allowed our clients to control the process. Okay? So instead of Zillow or Realtor.com being that resource, let's look at ways that you can become that resource through your site. Okay, I talked a little bit about the Resource Center. Basically how we have linked everything so you've got one dashboard to log into to manage 99% of your daily business if you so choose. Okay. One of the things that I always hated when I was producing, and I produced my best year, I produced 72 closed units. Was back in the 90s, early 2000s, I had 5 different dashboards I had to log into to manage my business, and I hated it. We have effectively given you a resource to allow you to do everything through Berkshire Hathaway National and Berkshire Hathaway Indiana Realty from one dashboard if you choose to, okay? But I will tell you, I'm going to show you the CRM and how that interacts with this, but the best CRM is the one that you use, okay? So if this isn't quite right for you, that's fine. Go find another one, but this is all interactive with your website, and so I would encourage you strongly to take a look at what you've got here. So we're going to look a little bit at the CRM, the lead resource, some of the functions that are there. You can set this up to be as interactive with you as you want to. In fact, right before we started this webinar this morning, I just got a text message to remind me of following up with a client that I need to hear as soon as I get done. Okay? So I don't know how you guys are, but those reminders to me of follow-up are invaluable, because as you get busy managing your day-to-day process, anything that you can do to help keep you organized is a great thing, especially for me. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. The other thing I want to really get into is, again, the power of your CRM. I know David and Michael have done numerous subjects on this, but I'm going to go maybe a little bit one step further and show you how to be extremely interactive and get your leads back into your website to do the research. Get them out of Zillow, get them out of Realtor.com, and bring them back into your website. Okay? And then I'm also going to show you how to set up saved searches for your clients the same way you would do in your MLS or your BLC, and again, bring them back in. One of the things that I've done here just recently is I've used this tool to actually help me manage my buyers' desires to go out and what properties they want to see. So I'm going to show you that as well. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. So I want to get in and actually do some interaction on the sites itself with you, and so you can kind of see how this all works together. And then we'll please stop me as we go through and ask any questions you might have. And if you got your laptop out, if you want to follow along, feel free to follow along as well. Okay. All right. So we talked a little bit about the main Berkshire Hathaway BHHS IN Realty.com site. Guys, don't underestimate the power that's here. There's a lot of things that the consumer can do very easily to navigate through this. I mean, this section over here where they can just go on and start to search different regions is a powerful, quick, interactive tool. Takes them right into the map version, so they can very easily start to expand on their search area and do the things that they want to do as far as their search goes. One of the things that just came out on the new update is the ability to draw a customized area on the map for a search. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a polygon search. So it's much like what you see on your mobile device. They can come in here and they can actually on their desktop, search whatever area that they want to search. I had an overlapping area there. Okay. Okay, so they can narrow down very quickly on an area that they just want to focus on, besides also narrowing down on criteria, price range, bedrooms and baths, and there's more options over here that they can narrow down as well, square feet, residential. So there's a lot of areas. Now it's not going to be as many options as you would have in the MLS or BLC, but I would suggest to you, don't limit their search criteria to what you think that they may initially want, okay? Because what they want and what they end up buying, a lot of times, initially what they want and what they end up buying, a lot of times are two different things, okay? For example, last year I had a great past client that came into Indianapolis, and they wanted to be down around Greenwood. They're both working down around Greenwood. They told me emphatically when we first started that they did not want Franklin Township. Okay, they want to be outside Franklin Township. So they gave me some parameters, set up a search for them. I sent them 10 listings. Guess where they bought? They bought in Franklin Township. But I gave them the ability to go on to a map search and expand and really truly see what was in Franklin Township on their own without limiting their ability to do that. Okay. So the quicker we can get a consumer in to let them be interactive, and again, they want to control their research. Okay. So we got to give them the best tool to be able to control their research and do the research that they really truly want to do to make an informed decision. So instead of spending a bunch of time in the company site, you have the same capabilities in your site to allow them to do quick searches. Again, get with Michael and set things up however you feel is going to be best for you to market, okay? One of the things I'm going to suggest to you is if you don't already have a unique URL address, craigwest.net, go out to GoDaddy or one of the hosting sites and get a unique URL address that's unique to you that you feel comfortable in marketing, okay? Because the website's only going to be as good, it's only going to be as effective as you are in marketing to drive people to the website. I will tell you from the company standpoint, we are spending a lot of money right now through digital marketing and social media with the goal of driving more people into our website. If we can get people into our website and get them interacting with our website, we've got a better chance of converting that lead into business for all of you, okay? So I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing. You all are active on social media, I'm sure, at some point. Make sure that you start to educate your database and your sphere of influence on the power that you have available for not only them, but for whoever they may know that's looking to buy or sell real estate, okay? And promote the heck out of this. So, I always encourage agents to take one piece of what you have available on your website and promote that monthly, promote it every other week, and start to educate your consumer on the things that they can do within the site. We're doing that with the monthly newsletters that we send out. We're trying to put content in there to engage the consumer, engage your database, and want them to come back into the website to find out more about what we're talking about, okay? Pay attention to that newsletter. If you guys aren't using the newsletters yet, the electronic newsletter that goes out once a month, that's free to all of you. Make sure that you get with your office admin and get your database to them so they can get that uploaded into the system, okay? So, you've got all the same capabilities within your site with one click of the mouse to get your consumers in to allow them to start viewing those areas that they're most interested in. Now, I was talking earlier about the stickiness of your website, meaning once you capture a client into your website, if they click and navigate through the site, they're not going to leave your site. So another window's not going to open. They're always going to stay within your site with your contact information right there, easily for them to get to if they have questions or they want to start setting up showings. Guys, this year we have seen a large increase in leads from the website that are requesting showings to the website. So we know the consumer is finding the information they want, and they're requesting showings not only on our listings but our competitors' listings as well. Okay, so in other words, I had this search set up in Broad Ripple. Here's an ERA listing, and the way this is set up, the map search is always going to show bullet points over here on the right hand side. They click through that, and again, all the information is going to stay to you. They can save the property, they can interact with you right here. So if they have a question, that lead's going to go directly to you. Okay, if you get them into your website, they're going to stay with you. All the listing information here. Here's the walk score, here's the map, schools and neighborhood, that off-market data, nearby sales, and sales history. Okay, so if they are high on looking at the Zestimate, tell them not to trust the Zestimate. They need to come on and see the true off-market data that is coming out of the MLS. Property details, everything is right here. Allows them to, here's the NREX drive time, so they can see what the drive time would be. But the other great thing about this is it continues to give them choices of like-kind properties right here on the right-hand side of the page. So they don't have to go back, they don't have to navigate away. All they have to do is click on that property, and it will then bring up that property's info. Again, staying right with you, your contact information at the top, so you're always there with them as they navigate through. Okay, they do have to sign up for the inside access. That's the one thing that they have to sign up for. The inside access is that market valuation report that actually does it. It's basically a lender grade CMA is what it is. So it actually gives them some history, and it shows them what has sold in that neighborhood that they're looking. Now, it does not go ahead and filter out the exact price range unless they've got a price range in there that they're looking for. So if they're looking 200 to 250,000, it will bring in the sold data in that price range. But if they're just looking at all price ranges, it's going to bring in the sold data of all price ranges in that neighborhood. Okay, makes sense? Okay, so and again, they've got the same capability of drawing areas that they're interested in. All the things that are able to be done on the company site can be done on your site as well. Okay, and that's very easy for them to save the search. It's very easy for them to look at the saved properties that they have, so on and so forth. And that's all within your branded site. Now, what if you get a buyer lead, instead of going to the MLS or BLC and send them to a MLS branded website? What if you could do the same process and send them right to your own personal website? That's what I really want to go over with you today. There's a couple of ways you can do it. I mean, you can do it right from your site, but I want to go in and I want to talk a little bit about how you can set it up from your resource center. Before I do that, though, I want to go in and I want to show you some of the functionality from a consumer standpoint or your client standpoint, and show you some of the capabilities they have within their consumer account that you're going to interact with them with. So I talked a little bit about, they can save the property searches, they can save properties, those types of things. So here is a young gal that's coming into Rolls-Royce. She's a sister of a very good past client of mine, very good friends of mine. And so I went ahead and serviced her needs as she came in from Boston And so I immediately set her up on a search within my website. And I sent her the password, the login information to get into her account. And I'd already had properties already saved for her based upon the criteria that she asked me to look for. So when she first logged in, this is what your consumer sees. So this is the consumer account screen. They can connect on social networks, so they can share some of their properties through their social networks. It's extremely interactive for them. But with one click of the mouse, she could come in, make it come in, and start seeing the properties that I actually had saved for her. Okay. Now this is getting to be aged. So as you can see on here, as she comes back in, she can see which ones have already closed and gone off the market. She can see which ones are pending right now, so she can make a decision whether she wants to see those or not. Okay. But one of the things that, and you can do several different things here as far as how you interact with them. But what I did with her was, so anytime a consumer saves a property, they've got the ability to rate that property. There's 5 stars on there, and they can rate the property as they save it. Let me see. Let me get out of here. So this little heart is where they can save it. So they can actually there we go. So then they can set up and they can actually rate this up to 5 stars. And this is how I started to interact with this client. So I asked her to go ahead and rate each property, and she did this, and then she filtered some out. So she went through, she rated 3 to 5 stars, and then she went back and she filtered out the 3 stars. And she sent me a message and she said, I want to see all the ones I have rated 4 stars or above. And that's how I then went back into her account and started setting up showings. Okay, it was great. It was great for me. It was great for her. And then she can also put notes in here too. So if she puts notes in here and has a specific question, maybe about the size of one of the bedrooms, or one more information about the size of the lot or something like that, she would type that in, and I would make sure that I had that information when we went out and toured the property. Okay. And then she's got the consumer has the ability then to set up email alerts as to how they want to be alerted, either when there's open houses, the price change, the status change, photos are added, virtual tours are added. So they got full control over how they get the email alerts on the updates as well. Okay. Again, it's that intuitive part that we're able to allow the consumer, once we get them in here, I would suggest to you, if they understand all the capabilities, you're going to get them away from Zillow or Realtor.com. Okay. There is a little bit of learning curve, but the more you interact with them with inside your website, the more they're going to understand all the capabilities that are there. Okay. Okay, so once they save that, and they can also go on and again recreate their searches if they want to. They can remove it, or they can actually save that search as well. Okay, and then again, they've got the capabilities of setting up how they want to be alerted on any changes that come on in that search area. So this is basically what I did for Megan. I came in here and she wanted Fountain Square. So I actually put a polygon around Fountain Square, and she also wanted to look in Broad Ripple. So I did that. Put her little bit of criteria in. She wanted to stay around 200, 225, so I searched 175 to 250. And I set this up, and I sent her a link with her login information. So she got in. She actually ended up expanding a little bit further outside of Fountain Square, down Moore Street a little bit. But I gave her the capability of being able to do that and not limiting her to what she initially said that she wanted. Okay. That's where the power of this is going to come into. If you give them the capability in their hands to do that, your value to them has just increased 100%. Okay, and there's without a doubt they're going to come back to you and utilize you if they go to an open house. The likelihood of them being swayed away it starts to diminish because you have become the trusted resource for them. All right, so let's go through very quickly then. Well, not very quickly. Let's spend some time on going through and how do you set that up within your resource center and your CRM to interact with them that way. So I want to spend a little bit of time. So I'm going to go into the resource center, and your CRM and all the functionality that we're going to talk about lives within the lead resource link right here in the middle of your dashboard. Now remember, this is everything that's Berkshire Hathaway Home Services National, okay? So all your links here to your marketing resource, those types of things are all here. We're going to talk about the lead resource today. And that's what brings you into, if you see at the top of the page, at the tab, it's labeled as an R desk. But this is the dashboard. Again, I know that David and Michael have, in previous training, has gone over this in quite length. But once you log into here, this is where you can go out to your DocuSign transaction room. You can log on to MyBor or Indiana Regional MLS. We're going to continue to build this to provide as much single sign-on capability as we can. So once you sign into this, you don't have to continue to log into the other items. Now, some of these, my board and IRMLS, we're working with them to get a true single sign-on. But the reason why I point this out to you today is because I want you guys to start using this. Because we're going to build as much capability off of just this one dashboard for you to have. Again, I hated having to go to 5 different logins when I was producing. We've effectively reached that goal of giving you one login dashboard to go to, okay? Seller Advantage, but everything that you see here, and you've got the capabilities of changing these orders around, but here's Megan, here's my active clients, shows she's been on here recently, 38 page hits, so she's using my website to go through her research. Here's my follow-ups. I was just talking about the text message that I got. I need to follow up with her this morning as soon as we get done with the training and set up some second showings down on Linden for her as well. But I've also put a reminder in here to make sure that I send her sister, my past client that referred her, a gift card by Thursday, okay? So again, all that is here for you to be able to utilize and really work through.
Does this integrate with our calendar, our Outlook calendar at all?
No, not right now. That's the one thing we're talking to Red about to see what we can do to get it to network with the Outlook calendar. But right now, this only lives within the calendar and the tasks that you set up within your CRM system.
The things that we typically recommend is use this for marketing tasks, client contact tasks. Put appointments on your whatever calendar you use to remind you, and you'll get emails. You'll get a text reminder to do these tasks from here.
You can set it up to either receive an email reminder or a text reminder. That's I had set it up to send me a text this morning to remind me to follow up. Okay. You know, why I spend so much time here, I would strongly encourage all of you to get into a habit, if you will. This should probably be the first thing that you log into every morning and the last thing you look at before you clock out, okay? Because again, if you use this effectively, it's also going to alert you when you have new leads as well. And this is not just leads from your website. This is leads that may be coming in on your listings from the national website. The other thing that I'm working on with Red, and we're a few months down the pike, but I'm working to parse all of your Zillow and Realtor.com and third-party leads right into your CRM system. So there's no data entry on your part. That's what's coming down the pike. They're working right now for all of our mobile app leads, now our national mobile app, to parse right into your CRM system as well. So if you start to get into a habit of, again, logging into this, and as David suggested, use this as client reminders type of thing, then you're effectively interacting with this on multiple times a day. Okay. Okay, so let's get into Megan's dashboard. And I want to show you a little bit about how you can go in and actually set things up. So I know that David's also has done webinars and training on the scoring. The scoring over here shows 17. And David, I'm going to let you explain the scoring a little bit because I really haven't got into that a tremendous amount. So
The scoring, and I don't remember exactly what it is, but every time somebody gets on and changes the search or gets into the search or saves a house or expands the search, they're given a certain number of points. And so you can see on this one here that Craig's got, it's red 17. That person has not been terribly active. The colors change. So red 17, if they get over 20, and again, I don't remember exactly what they are, but it will turn to like blue and then green. And when it's like a green and 50 or something like that, that's when you pick up the phone and say, I just saw that you spent the weekend looking at my website and have saved 17 new houses. When do you want to go see them? So that score tells you how active they've been there. And there's a little sheet that we can pass around for everybody that shows exactly what those are.
yeah, actually, for those of you in the room and for those of you online, we'll send this out. But I do have a resource material here for you, and there is a description in there as to how they color code that. So again, the color coding is exactly what David just described. It's supposed to be a very quick reminder for you to alert you and to motivate you to pick up the phone or contact this lead, okay? Because it's a hot lead. And again, another reason for you to log in on a daily basis, multiple times a day, to see what this activity is of your clients. Because as you get more clients interacting with your website through some of these functions, you're going to want to manage, obviously, because the one thing that technology has done, the consumer expects an immediate response from you. Okay, so don't underestimate the power of that as well. Okay, so here I am. I'm in Megan's dashboard, and it opens up in the summary. And the summary is basically all the information that either I put in or that she's put in. Okay, and you can put in as much or as little information as you want. You can assign her to groups, and you can add and edit the group, so you can customize groups if it's members of your church, members of a social group network that you belong to. You can go in and assign those groups. That way, you can come in and easily search for the groups of contacts that you have set up. Okay. Action plans are right here. You can assign action plans once you've brought them in. And I don't know if all of you know about the action plans, but again, that is a great tool for you to come in, set it and forget it, and it keeps you in front of your lead or your client on an ongoing basis. So I had set up Megan in the Engage Your Buyer series action plan. And so for 10 weeks, as I was going through this, it basically sends her something of value each week talking about the buying process. Okay. But I set it up once. It took me 30 seconds to set it up. And for 10 weeks, I'm going to be in front of her as I continue to cultivate that relationship. Yes, Anna.
Did you edit any of the verbiage on that?
I didn't, but you can.
Yeah.
So
we're good with how it was.
Sure. Yeah. And you can add anything that you want to in there too. So if you guys haven't taken a look at that, or if you haven't gone through one of the training sessions on that, I would really encourage you to do that, because again, that's one of that set it and forget it type of thing to allow you to continue to go out and either manage your business or prospect for new business. Okay. All right, so all that information actually comes from the detailed information that you put in as well. And guys, you can get as detailed as you want to with this, down to the nicknames, down to titles and companies that they're with. But the main thing is you need to make sure that you have at least an email address in here to interact with them. Okay. But you can go into, as much information as you want. Here's the notification preferences. One of the first things that you need to ask your clients, how would you like to be notified, or how would you like for me to communicate with you? This, you've got the capability of either setting them up to receive notifications through email or through text messages. So if you've got some that like the text messages, you can do that. The frequency, you can set it up, twice a day, daily, but you've got choices there as well. Okay. And if they've got specific time preferences when they just want notifications, you can even go in and set that up as well. Okay. All right. So a lot of good information there that you can use. The personal information, also you can get as detailed as you want to with. Here I've gone ahead and assigned Chris Schock was her sister, past client. So it reminds me of where this referral came from. Again, then I can set it up to make sure I get the gift card out and get that information out to them as well. But this section here on the personal info, guys, this is where you start to really create relationships with your leads. Okay, the more personalized that you can get, kids' names, family members, that type of thing. When you're cultivating a lead, they haven't started the process of either buying or selling yet. This is how you're going to create a personal relationship with them to remind you. So, pick up the phone. If you put the kid's name in here, you can pull this up before you get them on the phone and ask them how Sally's doing. Again, personalize those touches anywhere you can. And it's all organized here within your CRM system. Okay? Same way with the marketing pieces. You've got a great resource here to really add some marketing pieces and functionality that's already set up in the system for you. And here's where you can set up those action plans to create that potential for you. This is where you actually add the activities in that go into reminders for you as well. Okay, so I spent some time yesterday to make sure I had everything organized, and so this is where you can go in, set the reminders. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes before you need to call them, whether you want to be emailed the reminder or receive a text message on the reminder. All that is right here for you. Okay, and you can set this up either as a event, an appointment, or a task. And then there's some subcategories that either a call or a meeting. Again, a lot of different things as to however you want to work and keep yourself organized. Okay, so 15 minutes. I want to show you actually the easiest and best way then to start interacting with them on the properties. So the first thing here is save searches. So what I did was I came in and I set this up for Megan, put her into my CRM system, put as much detailed information as I wanted to. Then I came in here and clicked Add New. And so this is going to bring you right back into your site, and again, right back into that map search that you can go ahead and start pinpointing the save search area that you want to set up and then send to them. Okay. So again, I'm in the CRM system. I'm on the properties tab under the specific contact that I want, and I'm clicking on Add New for save searches. And once I do this, once I draw the area and do this and save that search, right up here it says Save Search, it's actually going to save now into Megan's dashboard. Okay. So, again, it all depends on how you want to set this up. She had two distinct neighborhoods that she really wanted to start looking in. So I did a save search for both, and I labeled them Fountain Square, and the other one I labeled Broad Ripple. So she could go in very easily into her, once she got into her dashboard, she can actually see the two saved searches and see that one's Fountain Square and one's Broad Ripple. Okay, and then she can distinguish between the two. So that's the best way to utilize that. Then again, when you want the email client to receive any updates, it defaults to the ones that are up there. I just usually let it set on that. I really don't do anything if there's new photos or anything like that. But if you've got someone that's really visual that wants to see the photos as soon as they're loaded up, you can set that criteria as well. Okay, and again, you've got the capabilities to put some certain criteria in here: price range, number of beds, number of baths. You got the more options that you can put in: year built, square foot, those types of things. And they've also got the capability of going right in here. If they only want to live 20 minutes from work, you can actually set up the index drive time 20 minutes out, and then it will actually bring in the houses from that specific location where they're going to work to. Okay, so again, put as much information in there, but I caution you on how limited you get with the initial search. Get them in here and let them start expanding their search as to how they want to. Okay. Okay, so that's how to set up the properties. But as you can see here, every time that Megan comes in and saves that property, it comes into your dashboard. So you can see everything that your client saves. Now, remember I said before that she sent me back a message and said, I want you to set up everything that I've rated 4 stars and above. You've got a filtering system right up here at the top of their saved systems. And rating 4 and up. So I clicked on 4 and up. It will filter just down to those listings. So now I've got a very easy dashboard. I can go in here and see the 4 that she rated 4 and above, and that's how I'm going to set up the showings when we go out. Great, guys. And again, it doesn't have to be that way. You can find whatever little functionality works for you or works for your client as to how to interact with them on this. Yes, Anna?
Does this integrate with showings.com?
It doesn't. So no, this isn't part of either Showing Time, IRM, MLS, or showings.com in the BLC. So unfortunately, that integration is not completed to where you can just interact with the BLC through this. You actually will have to go back in and set it up through the BLC. Not quite there yet. We're getting there as far as just having one system, but I'm not sure that I'm going to still be around long enough for us to get to truly a one system, because as new technologies come on, it's just going to create different avenues as well. Okay, I got a question here online. Does the listing agent show up in the client view? No, the listing agent does not show up. The listing company does. Okay, so it goes by IDX rules on your site. Basically, your name shows up as the resource to contact, but it does show. So if it's an FC Tucker listing, they'll show listing courtesy of FC Tucker. But it shows if they want to set up an appointment or they want more information, it's truly you who they're contacting. Okay, so no, Jane, that would be another function that you would actually have to get off of the BLC as far as who the listing agent is. Okay, good question. All right, any other questions on that? Let me go back here just 1 minute though. I want to show you something else here. So the property views, so you got saved searches, but you can also see what properties they viewed as well. And this actually gives you a little bit of idea of what they're actually filtering out. So if they viewed it but they haven't saved it, it starts to give you a little idea of their mindset of maybe what they're not looking for. So you can actually, it helps you to interact with them as well. Okay. The last tab on here on the detail of your CRM is the history. And this will show you everything that they actually looked at while they've been on your site. So it gives you the full history. It actually shows you the last page that they viewed, shows the MLS number, shows that they contacted me through the contact form, saved listing. I mean, basically any function that they do within your website, you can come in here and see what they've done, how they've interacted with your website. And again, Megan's been extremely active on my site. And Megan was one that was using Zillow in Boston before I got her into this. And once she was still in Boston when we first started this process. So she's been interacting with my website since I sent her the saved search within the website itself. Okay. So it works, guys. You've got to understand the tools and the system that you have and utilize it. Okay. All right. So I've got 7 minutes. What kind of questions do you all have? No questions?
Do you want to just mention Indrik's drive time and walk scores?
Sure.
You got a couple extra minutes?
I actually had a question about that. If I'm setting it up, if my person does want to be only 20 minutes away, so do I set it up with that time in there and the time they're going to be like departing or arriving with their work address?
Yeah, so let's go in and get back in here. Yeah, I'm sorry. Bear with me just a second here.
More options there.
Yeah, so basically your choices are going to be the specific time of day too. So it's going to actually, it's going to give you an idea of, depending on the time of day, how long it may take to get to that specific property. Okay, so I just put in there 15 minutes from basically downtown Indianapolis, and it actually 8 a.m. There's actually quite a bit from 15 minutes to 215 East Ohio. And again, it's on an average time as well. So,
Is that by helicopter?
Yeah, I know.
For sale.
that shows Columbus, doesn't it? I've done something wrong.
I think may not have liked the address or something.
Actually hit calculate. Yeah, maybe hit calculate.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, it's still doing it. I've got something wrong in there. Either I've got, oh, I don't have a specific address. Oh, no, I do. Specific address 2. Let me research that a little bit more, guys, and get back with you. Because I've, you know, if you bring up a specific listing, what I've tested before, it, yeah, Myra suggests we'll probably need to put in from. But when I checked this, not in a search, but from a specific property, it really does a pretty accurate job from what I can see.
It's a fabulous tool.
I don't know what, anybody know what the zip is downtown?
46204 maybe.
Yeah, that's not it. But no, play around with that because it does. Interact Drive Time is a national software, so it does a pretty good job. I just need to. I need to see what I didn't include in that search criteria, and I'll send that back out to all of you. Okay. Any other questions? Well, hopefully this gives you some insight, again, in the power that you have available to you. I would encourage you to take a little bit of time today and tomorrow while the information's fresh. Just get in and start playing around with it, guys. And if you've got a client that you can set up, get them set up and then get their feedback and see how they like it. Yes, Anna?
Yeah, when you said you make a search and then you email your client the login info, is that just auto-generated?
So basically all it takes is their email address, and I just always put in password as their password, and then I send that information to them. And I'm sorry, in the detailed information tab in the CRM, you can actually set it up in there for them. But then they can go back in and change the password if they want to.
And it is a generic email that goes out that says, welcome to Inside Access, you've been registered.
Okay.
So they can click on it to agree to the terms of service and it takes them right in.
Yeah, so basically they get this. You've been registered. Welcome to Inside Access. Now you can save searches, save properties, receive emails, that type of thing. And again, that's branded, again, with your information at the bottom. Okay. All right. Well, no other questions. That's all I've got.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much, Craig.
Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely.
it. Good stuff. As you say, you can't break this. So do go out and play with it as much as you like.
If you do break it, call Michael.
Yes.
So if they're searching on their own and they want to